So we plan to promote our program actually through a few outlets. So of course we're going to be promoting our program through, traditional methods such as social media like Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Building our own social media pages so we get to interact with the people who follow us, but also have our own website so people can visit our website, share what we post there or on our social media pages, get to know what we're about through our about section in our website, and also through advertising, whether through the newspaper if people still read that, but through the said social medias and Facebook, and YouTube ads, just to get people, who are able to get on the internet to see the message we're trying to give out. We also plan to reach out to community leaders to give legitimacy to our program in the community. Now, this is important because, as I said before, when you come to New York trying to get people to change, especially you're just some strangers, most of the time it's going to go through one ear and out the other because at the end of the day, the New Yorkers are probably going to think you're trying to, take advantage of them or get something out of them. So by going through community leaders, we'll be able to get legitimacy from the said community and prove to the locals that hey, we're here to help and we're not here to take advantage of you guys, but instead we just want to educate and make it better for everybody. We also want to hold an event to win prizes to incentivize people to come give it a try. Prizes such as food prizes, maybe even money, gift cards, clothes, stuff that people really want. So when they come through, they'll listen attentively and make sure that they're actually going to practice these, techniques that we're teaching them later on in their life. Also, we can promote our program, through canvassing, the traditional grassroots method, just going door to door, standing in the street, getting people to come. That way, a lot of the locals, it goes from one year and it goes to the other, as in it goes one person speaks about it, they tell somebody else, they'll tell somebody else. And I believe that could be really effective, especially with the strategy we're already taking to try to promote our program. So our plan for launch is we need to have the proper funding to employ at least 10 employees. So we need 10 employees to be able to work a deal with a food pantry, and also be able to handle the management of the programs, setting it up, handling the social media accounts. Of course, we're going to need an accountant, an HR person, uh, the person who's going to manage everything as well as the managers who are going to get managed. Um, and we need to work a deal with a food pantry to allow us to handpick food because we want to be able to not just give people food but give them the ingredients that they can just switch, that's a healthier alternative to what they already use. And before we launch, we would like to be able to conduct this service for at least a month at once a week intervals, because the reason behind this is we don't want to be left behind and always behind. So we always want to be on top of things and always make sure we're one step ahead, as well as that this is not something that happens overnight. We would want the program to continue for decades, but unfortunately, maybe funding might go dry. But as I said earlier, this isn't something that can be solved overnight. It takes time trying to change something that is deeply ingrained in the lives of these people, especially since many it's a generational problem to have these unhealthy diet eating habits. So the way we're going to evaluate success is actually not through the grand picture of numbers, such as how many people are actually doing it, but rather on an individual level. We would love to touch each individual and make sure that at least one family is employing these practices in a practical manner. But of course, we would love if thousands of families would change their eating habits. But we would measure our success by the involvement in the people who stop by, listen, and learn, so we know our message is getting across. Also, another way to ensure success is to see the yearly health statistics in the area and compare them to when we started to when we end. And that's assuming that we last at least a year to see the effects of how effective our program was in the area. So the only limitations is that If we don't get the proper funding to pay our employees to set up workshops needed to educate the public, we could be in a sticky situation. But I believe this is easily solvable, as an even smaller team of 10, which is really small enough, such as even just myself, can create the website, social media pages, and YouTube accounts necessary, for promoting this type of program. So on YouTube, a lot of food channels are extremely popular that have millions of views. So to get and create a YouTube channel that is specified specifically for this certain demographic, or at least the inner city cooking, I think can go quite well, especially as right now a lot of the food channels on YouTube consist of very high dining food that is really expensive, cooking shows, or extremely unhealthy foods, such as a cheese dipped cheeseburger. So another limitation is that people might not like strangers dictating how they should eat, and will of course just come for free food and not listen to what we're trying to teach. I believe this is the biggest problem because, as I said, a lot of the personalities in New York, if you get to try them to change, they're just gonna listen to you and hear you out, but they're not gonna actually practice those teachings. So in order to get past this, I say we start an event where people could win food prizes, clothes, money, to keep the attention of those participating, and they'd be more willing to come again to come compete and practice it and put it into motion what they learned. So the great thing about this program is that this can be taken anywhere. You can take this program and put it anywhere in the world, in the state, anywhere, because the only thing that needs to be changed is the alternatives to the ingredients slash dishes that are specific to the culture or the locals. Everything else is actually based off the FDA's recommended, healthy, balanced diets that one should practice in order to have healthy living. And because of this makes it very, very, flexible and easily, copyable to for another program in, let's say, Mexico to use. Of course, uh, the health standards might be different, so that would have to be a given, because it's the government regulation. But in America, this can be taken anywhere, definitely. This is the end of my program and the end of my slideshow. Thank you very much.